Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. UFC 303, Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka 2. This is the most cursed card I think I have ever seen in the UFC. Other than maybe UFC 300. I'm pretty sure that was changed around quite a bit. It was supposed to be Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. That has changed. It is now Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka for the light heavyweight championship of the world. We also have co-main event change. We have added Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. These were added a couple weeks ago, but it is different to the original card. And then we have the which I think was supposed to be the original co-main event. I guess got moved down, but it was supposed to be Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree pulled out. It was now Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg. Jamal Hill pulled out. It was then Anthony Smith versus Carlos Ulberg. Then Carlos Ulberg pulled out, and then it is now Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. Other than that, the card's pretty nice. Let's just get right into it. Might as well. Let's just fix the camera here. There we go. Perfect. We have the first fight of the night. Ricky Simon against Vinicius Oliveira. I'm going Ricky Simon. The only reason why I'm going Ricky Simon is because he has a lot better wrestling than Vinicius, and Vinicius was taken down by Brendan Sopaj, I believe Brendan. He hit that flying knee in the third round with like 15 seconds left or something. Ricky Simon has lost 2 in a row. One to Bautista and one to, Song Yadong. Song Yadong is a very good top 15 contender. Mario Bautista is also good and up and coming, but the Mario Bautista loss kind of looks bad on Ricky because I feel like he definitely could have beaten him 100%. A lot of people are liking the side of Vinicius Oliveira this week to knock out Ricky Simon. I just don't see, I understand each round starts on the feet, but Vinicius is going to have to have some really, really, really good boxing and some really good takedown defense in order to keep Ricky off him. And I just don't see Vinicius being able to keep his base wide enough with Ricky getting around him. Ricky's really good at those locks, man. He's gonna go underneath the hips and just grab you. So I'm really thinking Ricky's gonna keep his number 14 spot. Remember, he is in the top 15, man. He's still a contender. He was on a crazy streak before. He beat Jack Shore, who was, I think, his first loss. Jack Shore was 17-0. Vinicius Oliveira is looking good, man. I just don't think he's ready for this level of competition. But you beat a guy on short notice who was coming from a shitty organization and who was beating you up in the first round basically by takedowns. So next on the card, we have Carlos Hernandez against Ray Tassura. I really want to pick Carlos Hernandez. These Road to UFC guys haven't really been checked yet. Some of them are kind of cans. Ray's 22, man. He hasn't lost yet. Usually guys are going to taste loss right about now. I think if Ray's going to taste a loss, it's going to be in the next year and a bit. I think Carlos Hernandez has the skills in order to put Ray down. But, again, he's a plus 310. That's a fucking wild line. Okay? The Dennis Bondar fight that's a huge win for Carlos Hernandez. Dennis Bondar is a very technical fighter. He's very good on the ground. He's very good in the stand-up. Carlos was able to welter him away. Dennis gassed, and in the third round, he dropped elbows on Dennis Bondar's fucking head. That was a crazy knockout. That change was changed to a technical decision because of a clash of heads, even though Carlos completed a perfect judo throw and just absolutely rained shit on fucking Dennis's night, but they didn't give it to him. Ray Tassura, dude, his best fight is probably Mark Clamato or Clamaco. Sorry, I don't know if I'm fucking pronouncing that right. That's probably his best win, man. Jinyushi's ass. He lost to Dong Hun Choi. Whatever. I'm just gonna go Carlos Hernandez. I would pick probably the over. I'd probably pick the over in this fight, or I'd pick Carlos Hernandez to win by points or knockout. I just don't see how Ray is going to be able to deal with his mix-up style, and I don't see how Carlos is going to gas. I think if anything, Ray is going to gas. So. Next on the card, we have Andrei Arlovsky versus Martin Buday. Martin Buday lost to Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev is a round one or bust type of fighter. I believe he got knocked out in the second round. Yeah, he did. Martin Buday is kind of a can. Okay? Josh Parisian, Jake Collier, Bresky, Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett. Can you believe it? Man. I think Andre Arlovsky's going to win. I wouldn't pick this fight. I would pick over. I think this fight's going to a decision. I think both guys are going to be able to keep it on the feet. I think if anything, Andre's going to be able to maybe sit on top of Martin for a couple of rounds and grind out a fucking wrestling victory. I just don't. People are saying Arlovsky's chinny. Excuse me. Sure, you can call him chinny if you want. Budet's not putting him out. I just don't believe it. Take the over 2.5 if that's what you want. If it's at over 1.5, I'm not sure what the lines are. If it's at over 1.5, take the over 1.5. It's even better. A lot of people might be betting Martin Budet by KO. A lot of people probably putting the line in a lot of parlays. I would not touch the line of Martin Budet. I would stay away. I think Andre Arlovsky being 45, Belarus. He's an old boy, man, but heavyweights stick around for a long time. Bernard Hopkins fought into his 50s. It's possible, man. I would just go with the Pitbull. Side with the Pitbull. I know I'm taking a lot of underdogs. This is a big card, man. This is a big underdog card. We're going to the top of the early prelims. Michelle Waterson Gomez against Jillian Robertson. I'm going Jillian Robertson. 1, she's Canadian. I got to go with my Canadian girl. 2, she's just better, man. Waterson has had 4 losses in a row. She's just not improving, man. She's 38. She's never going to hold a title in her life. She's probably going to lose by decision to Jillian or get armbarred or something like that. Robertson has very, very, very good ground game. She's very good from her back, too. She has a lot of slick submissions, man. I just don't see how Gomez is going to be able to deal with her. And Jillian has enough stand-up to be able to put something together and take Gomez to the ground. Because that's all she's going to do. She's going to sit on the ground with Gomez. And I bet you're going to hear her corner scream for it if that's not what she's going for. She might try and stand for a little bit because Gomez is going to try and ask for it in the first couple minutes. And I bet you Robertson's going to take her down quite quickly. I think Gomez is going to gas. I think Robertson's probably going to be able to take a submission or a point victory. Do not take KO. If it's over 1.5, which I doubt it is, if it's over 2.5, I would probably side with the 2.5. Women's MMA, it's more safe to take the side of the decision, but I would sprinkle a little bit of cash on Jillian Robertson by submission. I just like her a lot in her ground game, and I think Gomez is just a lot worse than her. This is like one of my fights that I'm looking forward to because I know it's going to be on the ground, and I'm really hoping to see a slick submission. Next on the card, we are starting with the regular prelims now. Peyton Talbot against Yanis Gamori. Taking Peyton Talbot just by murder. I just don't see how Yanis is going to be able to deal with him. Peyton Talbot has proven me wrong with Cameron Simon. He beat the fuck out of Cameron Simon in the first round, and he had his way with him, man. In the second round, he literally murked Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon is a phenomenal prospect. You might be able to not call him a prospect anymore after that fight. Peyton fucking murdered him. If Peyton's coming out, man, I'm sure there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers coming out. Peyton is insane. He is the real deal, man. He is really the real deal. I think he's going to be fighting for the title before the end of next year. Easy. It's not even a question. He's fucking scary, man. I'm going to go with KO. He's very slick on the ground, but I don't think he is at the point in his career where he's so slick on the ground that he's going to be very confident in it and he's going to go right to it. I think Giannis maybe has enough ground defense to maybe stay off of his submission. I think Talbot might, if worse comes to worse, get to the ground and rain ground and pound and get a victory. He's definitely getting a KO. It's probably going under 1.5 rounds. I just don't see Giannis being able to deal with it, that's all. William Gomez is able to knock him out with a body kick in the second round? He was able to knock him in the third round, and I promise you William Gomez has half the power that Peyton Talbot has. So we're just going to take KO in the early rounds. We got Charles Jourdain against Jean Silva. I was talking about how I'm going to pick my Canadians. Jean Silva is probably better than Charles Jourdain. He's probably better on the feet, man. That Sean Woodson split decision, he probably won that. Arguably, it's close. I had Sean Woodson personally, but I guess you could see it going to Charles Jourdain. The Kron Gracie victory is nothing. Nathaniel Wood loss. I mean, Nathaniel Wood's not super great, but Shane Burgos, man. Yeah, man, I'm going Jean Silva. Jean Silva's just shown me more. He's shown me more in less time. The Weston Wilson win is a little bit better, coming off a Zheka submission by Weston Wilson in the first round, the triangle. Kevin Vallejos, he was an undefeated prospect, man, coming up. He's probably coming back into the UFC soon after his next fight. I'm going to go Jean Silva. I'm probably going to go Jean Silva by decision. I think Charles Jourdain has enough stand-up and enough technique in order to keep himself from dying. I'm also noticing that I think Jean Silva is photoshopped here. Nice. Good job, guys. He's not improving. He should be improving, and he's not improving. Jean Silva is improving from what I see more. I would just take the over in this fight if you can. Stay away from the money line side of things. Just take the over. Next in the fight, we got Cub Swanson against Andre Fili. I literally can't pick Andre. I have to pick Cub Swanson because I love Cub that much. I really think Cub's going to be able to put it together. Andre's good. Andre arguably is better than Cub. Okay? I really, genuinely, this is not a confident pick. Andre is probably better than Cub. Cub is 40 years old in a very, very light weight class, okay? I like Cub. I think Cub is very, very good. I think Cub's a very strong veteran, and I think he's better than Andre Fili. I just truly think he is. At least for a night. I hope for a night. This is what I'm telling myself, okay? Philly's better, but he's not, okay? Cub, please win. Please. I think Cub Swanson wins. Come on, please. This is not a confident pick. This fight is probably going over. Excuse me, with the yawning. I'm trying to kill it here. I think Cub is going over with the fight. I think Andre will not get knocked out or subbed. I think Cub can't get subbed or knocked out right now. Andre doesn't have strong enough leg kicks to beat up his calf because Cub's invulnerable to that, leaving that lead leg out all the time, not being able to switch stances very well. And Philly is quite strong in being able to get through things. Danny Ige, again, 50K. He is a knockout specialist, kind of. And Brito is a knockout specialist. So I don't take those away from Philly. And I don't think Philly's chinny. So, well, I guess we'll see. Next on the fight, prelims. The top of the prelims, we have Joe Pyfer against Marc-Andre Barrial. You have to pick Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer underperformed in his last fight against, who was it? Jack Hermanson. Specifically because it was a 5-round fight. It was his first 5-round fight. He was in the apex. I feel like it might have affected him a little bit. I think he started to gas out in the second half of the third round, or of the second round possibly. But you could see it that I don't think he was prepared for a 5-round fight. Marc-Andre Barrial is not better than Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer is going to knock him out cold. I really don't see how Power Bar is going to be able to get through it. Like, he doesn't have good wins on his record in the last 5 years. Oh, fuck. Just take Joe Pyfer by murder, man. I don't know why the line's so close. Ian Machado Gary. We're going into the main card. Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Venom Page. I'm taking Ian Machado Gary. A lot of people are taking Michael Venom Page. You have to take Ian Machado Gary because he looks like he is the better fighter. Michael Venom Page has the very slick karate stance. He's very, very, very quick in his movements. Kevin Holland was unable to find him. He was even caught saying in his corner, saying that motherfucker is fast, which he is, and that he's a lot faster than they anticipated. Ian Machado Gary is as fast, and he has also got power. I think Michael Venom Page is able to drop him once or twice, but I think Ian Machado Gary is able to push through and get the victory. I think he's going to be able to use his stand-up exquisitely. I think he's going to be able to have better kickboxing than Michael Venom Page. I think he's going to be able to use because I think he has longer legs than Page, if I'm not mistaken. But Page, I feel like Page doesn't like to stay in distance, but I feel like Ian is truly like up and coming. Jeff Neal arguably could have won that fight as well, but I don't know. I just don't trust in Michael Venom Page quite yet. I think Kevin Holland was a little caught off guard. Next We have Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chasson. You have to go with Mayra Bueno Silva because even though she lost to Raquel Pennington, she looked good for the first 2 rounds. She was very slick on the ground. Late into the fight, she's still looking for submissions. She's still very slick on the ground. She's still looking for escapes. She's still trying to find angles. I understand she kind of gave up in the striking. She kind of gave Raquel the win. She gave her, it was a title fight as well. Maybe that affected her a little bit, first title fight. But I think Mayra Bueno Silva is going to be able to outperform Macy Chasson by pushing her up against the cage and taking her down and getting a submission. I just don't see how Macy's going to be able to deal with that type of pressure, especially when she is a striker. I just truly believe that Silva's going to maul her and just take her down consistently. And if she doesn't get the sub, she's going to get a very easy decision victory. I would take Mayra Bueno Silva by submission personally, but I would just take the money line if you're trying to be safe with it. I'm going to take a nice parlay at the end of this, so just wait until the end. We have Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze, third from the main event. We have two big strikers. I think Anthony Smith's going to get a knockout. I just don't see how Dolidze is not chinny, because he is. Nasruddin almost knocked him out. He just was barely able to make it to the end. Anthony Smith is old. He is a little fucked up. Hurting my family and all this shit. But I just think he is the better fighter. I think he's the better vet. I think Roman being 35 and only having 15 fights helps him a little bit because it's a little bit less wear and tear. Anthony Smith has been beaten the fuck up for a very, very long time, at least 15 years. I just think he's going to be able to put it together better, and I think maybe flying guillotine, imagine that. But I think he's going to be able to knock him out. I think Roman's just done. I think he's going to get out of the UFC after this fight, truly. We have the co-main event, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. A lot of people are taking Diego Lopez. I trust in T-City, man. I like T-City on the ground. I think he's better than Diego on the ground. I think Brian's used to getting dropped and recovering very quickly. And I think Diego Lopez is going to have a quick awakening if he tries to rush him on the ground. If Diego is smart and he drops Brian Ortega, he will let him stand back up. And if that is the case, and Diego does not do what I think he's going to do and chase Brian into the ground thinking that he's going to be able to be safe, that might be a big problem for Brian. I think Brian's going to be able to push through, though. I truly believe in Brian's skills. I believe that Diego Lopez is very, very skilled. I truly do. He is a very, very skilled fighter. I just don't think he can deal with people who like to sit on the ground. Ortega likes to stay in bottom position sometimes. He likes to be able to throw up those triangles, those arm bars. He likes to be able to get those angles. But he also is good in the top, and he's able to take people down. So I would just be confident in Brian Ortega's ground skills over Diego Lopez's striking skills. When Brian Ortega is used to being able to deal with strikers, Alexander Volkanovski fight is a very prime example. He was dropped multiple times. He was hurt very bad. He got Volk in the tightest triangle that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Volk was able to get out of it. Diego Lopez is not going to be able to get out of this. I would just like to take Brian Ortega by submission. It's close line. You have to understand, if 80% of the money is going on Diego Lopez and he's only on minus 140, that means that Brian Ortega opened a favorite. You got to remember that. Brian Ortega opened a favorite. So take that as you will. Take that how you will. Number 10 in the world against number 4. Remember, Brian Ortega just choked out Yair Rodriguez after rolling his ankle in the pre-interview. Like when Bruce is announcing them, everyone saw it. The line spiked to plus 800, 9-1. And then as soon as the fight started, he got dropped by Yair. And he recovered. And I think he put Yair down himself and then choked him out. It was fucking nuts, man. I just trust in Brian Ortega. We have Alex Pereira against Yuri Prochazka for the main event light heavyweight championship of the world. Poeton against BJP. I'm going Alex Pereira by knockout. This is also a very common thing in MMA sports. The person who has the first win is almost a 70% of the time winning the second fight. That's just history. It's just a little bit of aura with it. You lost to the guy before. He's coming in with a KO loss to this guy before. Rakic almost knocked Yuri Prochazka out. Alex Poeton Pereira is coming in on short notice. That is a bit of a problem, but Yuri Prochazka just had a bit of a war. He also just got kicked to shit by Rakic, and he also got kicked to shit by Pereira the last 2 fights. He's still feeling that, man. That the back of that muscle must be fucking sore all the time. I feel like Alex Pereira is confident. I feel like the champ is very firm in how he feels, and I think he's going to impose his game plan. I think he's going to murk the shit out of Yuri Prochazka, and I think we're going to find him laying on the canvas by round 2. I just don't see how Yuri's getting through the first 2 rounds because that leg is getting eaten up, man. Alex is going to go to the body, go to the leg, go to the body, go left hook, go to the left hook, go to the leg. He doesn't give a fuck. He's going to chop that leg. You switch, he will chop the leg. He soccer kicks. He doesn't care. He doesn't turn the hip. He doesn't need to. He has that much power. Yuri Prochazka is going to have to deal with that. He doesn't have an answer. If he checks it, Alex Pereira is a decorated kickboxer. He's been doing it forever. He doesn't give a fuck about the checks. He's going to throw it into you anyway. He is like Jan Blachowicz, okay? He is going to fucking use his shins of steel and just beat the fuck out of him. He doesn't care. Alex Pereira by KO under 2.5 rounds is a lock, in my opinion. I don't think this is going past 3 rounds. There's just no fucking way. Yuri Prochazka is not that type of fighter. We're going to go through a quick parlay, which I think is a lock. Hopefully you guys can take along. The last week's lock hit minus the 1. So we didn't hit, but it was close. Okay? Most of my thing. And also Sergey Pavlovich last week. I don't want to talk about it. I lost a bit of money, okay? Here we go. We're going to go semi-confident first. It's going to be a 5 pick. We got Ricky Simon, Jillian Robertson. We're going to go Joe Pyfer. We're going to go Alex Pereira. And we're going to go... It's either Jean Silva or Ian Machado Gary. But I think we're going to go over 2.5 rounds Cub Swanson, Andre Philly. I think that might be the lock. Let me just think about it for a second. Yeah, let me see what the line is for Andrei Arlovsky real quick. Give me a sec. Let's see here. Let's go to MMA, guys. We're going to go to UFC. We're going to drag down right here. Can we click on these yet? No. Where is it, though? Andrei Arlovsky over... Here, you know what? Let's just make this right now. This is even better, guys. You can fucking see it live. Here we go. We're going to go over 2.5 rounds. Andrei Arlovsky, Martin Boudet. We're going to go Jillian Robertson. We're going to go Joe Pyfer. We're going to go Mayra Bueno Silva. We're going to go Alex Pereira. That is a 5-pick parlay for plus 1,000. You throw $10 on that, guys. Make yourself $100 for the weekend. Why not? If you want to do the most confident, in my opinion, the most confident, if you just want to check like $100 on something, you just don't even want to look at it, Jillian Robertson is going to win. Okay? I am confident in that. Joe Pyfer is going to win, most likely by knockout. I am confident in that. And truly, I think Mayra Bueno Silva is truly just way years above Macy Chiasson. And Alex Pereira. So you can take a Silva if you want, put in Alex Pereira. I just don't see Alex Pereira losing, okay? I think he's one of the greatest of all time at this point. I think he might move up to heavyweight at some point. It would be fucking nuts. That's all I got for you guys. That's the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope those parlays hit. If you like, just take a look at the underdogs if you guys are on the betting side. If you guys are not on the betting side, this is a perfect card for you. Sit back and watch. Just literally watch the magic unfold because there's going to be some fucking crazy finishes this card. I can promise you that. I'm seeing it in the card. I can just see all the fucking hell that's coming. There's also going to be some nasty decisions, though, where they go to the death. Okay? Enjoy the card, guys. Just take a look. If you're a betting person, take a look, man. There's a lot of opportunity. A lot of opportunity. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Enjoy the card. Enjoy the rest of your week.